Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados. Because today I am going back down into the deep as I play Demons of the Deep. Yes, in this book, which is written by Steve Jackson, American Steve Jackson, you find yourself, first of all, you are a sailor and you're on a crew on a ship that gets attacked by pirates. You are eventually thrown overboard even though you are the sole survivor of the attack. And you sink down to the sea and you end up by chance in a magical square that has magic that allows you to breathe underwater. It gives you gills so that you can breathe underwater. You have landed in the magical city of Atlantis. And also it turns out that you have decided, even though it's not really clear in the book directly, that you want your revenge on the pirates because they killed all your friends and because you're being foolhardy and stupid, probably. But in order to do this, you have to find black pearls. Last time I found absolutely not a single black pearl at all. And this time, hopefully, I'll find at least one. So, let's just get started, shall we? Let's just get started. Yeah, Demons of the Deep. Boom. Okay, here we are on my desk. I got my book, my character sheet, and I've already filled in my stats here. And the reason is I've already started this today once, but I had to go and blow my nose because I was feeling a little bit sniffly. So I don't know if that means that I am starting to react to some kind of pollen or something. It is early spring. I remember I had this thing last year as well. I was getting a bit sniffly quite easily this time of year when I was doing videos. I noticed it really well. But I had to take a little break and come back again. So I've got my pens, my dice, and I've also got my maps, which are, as you can see, actually covering quite a bit of an area, but no black pearls. Okay. So I'm going to get started. I've got, by the way, skill 11, stamina 22, and luck 11, which is really good. Actually, one of the best ones I rolled. I had to re-roll, though, because my skill I rolled so low, I had to re-roll it, and my stamina I rolled so low, I had to re-roll it. So I only did one re-roll, though, so that's not too bad. Okay. Yes. So we have the introduction, the background. Okay, where are we? Background, yes. You are a doughty sailor, a rover of the seven seas. You have many years' experience as a mariner, on great ships and small, on sailing boats and huge warships. Neither howling storm nor dead calm disturbs you. Your trusty cutlass has slain many brigands and strange creatures of the deep. In port, you keep your listeners enthralled with your sea stories. Some are true, and some aren't, but nobody knows the difference except you. So you are a liar as well. That's not very good, is it? You are 5 days out of Port Blacksand, first mate on the good ship Sunfish, when the pirate ship strikes. Swooping in on black sails like the wings of some giant predatory seabird, it rams its prow across your decks. Beneath the leering, sharp-toothed figurehead is her name, the Troll. Dozens of ragged pirates swarm across the rails and attack. The crew of the Sunfish fights bravely, but a peaceful merchant ship is no match for a pirate vessel. One by one you see your comrades fall. At last, only you are left. With your back to the mainmast, you lay about you with your trusty saber, wounding one pirate after another. The pirates back away from you in fear. You drop your guard for a second, but too soon. From behind you, a black-bearded ruffian swings a huge belaying pin. You see stars. Then nothing. When you awake, you are surprised to find yourself still alive. Excuse me. The Sunfish is a battered wreck is burning nearby. Your comrades' bodies are gone, consigned, no doubt, to the deeps. To the deeps? I thought it was the depths, but yeah, there you go. You're on the deck of the Troll. Its sails snap in the breeze as the pirates head for their island lair. You try to stand and find you are tied to the mast. A coarse laugh comes from behind you. So, our hero is awake. The speaker steps into view and you see your captor, a bald, burly man in a once elegant purple coat. He sweeps a mocking bow. Captain Bloodaxe, at your service. Pirates don't talk like that. A pleasure to meet such a valiant fighter. I would offer you a place in my crew, but somehow you don't seem quite our type. Whatever shall we do with you? Several of the jeering pirates begin to offer suggestions. Keelhaul him, run him up the mainmast, and use him for a flag. Troll for the sharks, with him as the bait. Pull out the plug and wet him all over, and all those other things from that song, maybe. But Captain Bloodaxe waves them to silence. No, my hearties, how savage of you! You should be ashamed of yourselves. This one stood alone and defied us, slaying many of our comrades. Such a worthy fighter must be rewarded fittingly, and will leave the ship unharmed. The pirates grumble, but the captain shouts them down. First, we must return your good sword to you. He picks it up from the deck and replaces it in the scabbard at your belt. Second, we must give you provisions for the trip. He snaps his fingers. That's not a very good snap, is it? That's better. And a pirate brings a bag of black bread and salt beef. Enough provisions for 10 meals. Oh, provisions. Okay, I must make a note of my provisions. Provisions and 10. He ties the heavy bag to your belt. Third, we must release these cruel bonds. He draws his dirk and slashes the ropes that hold you to the mast. He yanks you to your feet, your hands still tied behind you. You'll forgive me if I don't untie your hands just yet, but you're a very dangerous foe. Behind him, the pirates snicker. And finally, we must give you your freedom. He escorts you to the stern of the ship where the lifeboats are tied. The pirate crew follows, grumbling. Unfortunately, he adds, we can't spare a boat, so you'll just have to swim home. With a powerful shove, he sends you over the railing. You hit the water with a tremendous splash. As Captain Bloodaxe's gifts drag you underwater, you hear the pirate crew laughing at the joke. Now turn over. Right. So they've had their bit of fun. You sink slowly beneath the surface, holding your breath. Desperately, you try to free your hands, but the bonds are tight. Deeper and deeper you sink. Curious fish circle around you, and the world slowly turns sea green. The ocean is shallow here, and you see that you are descending towards tall spires of coral. No, not coral, but a sunken city. You are drifting into the middle of a stately courtyard, now overgrown with weeds and coral. As your feet touch the bottom, you see lines of light blaze all around you. You gasp, losing most of your breath in a great bubble. The whole courtyard is a giant magical pentagram, and you are standing in its center. You have no time to appreciate the magic, however. You must swim back to the surface or drown, but the weight at your belt holds you down, and you cannot untie your hands. At last, your strength fails, and you inhale the cold water. But you remain unharmed. You realize that the magic of the pentagram has somehow protected you from drowning. You kick your way to a sharp coral spire and rub the rope against it until your hands are free. A strange feeling at your throat prompts you to look at your reflection in your shining sword. The spell has given you gills. You can breathe the water just like a merman. You find that your leather bag of 10 provisions is intact. Evidently, the spell is also keeping the food from being ruined by the seawater. If you pull off your heavy belt and swim back to the surface, turn to 63. If you explore the sunken courtyard instead, turn to 173. Now this is where I think if you swim back to the surface, that is actually going to be the end of the adventure, because you will lose your ability to breathe underwater. I'm just going to have a quick peek at that, just out of curiosity. Yes. That is actually the end of the story. So you actually have the potential for a first insta-death on the first paragraph, or on the first choice you make. If you explore the sunken courtyard, turn to 173. That is what I will always do, obviously. And I am going to 173. Curious about your new surroundings, you circle the courtyard. You find that swimming is now very natural to you. The magic pentagram is formed of deep red and green tiles, still clean and shiny despite the weeds and coral that choke the rest of the courtyard. The buildings around you are made of grey stone. One is both larger and taller than the rest, and seems in much better repair. You see nothing around you except fish. Then, from the corner of your eye, you spy movement in the large building. You realize that you are being watched. If you go into the large building to confront the watchers, turn to 211. If you swim up and out of the courtyard to see what else you can find, turn to 16. Now, last time I went into the building, which is the only correct choice, I think, because it tells you what's going on to some extent. You swim into the large building, sword at the ready, but you confront not a monster, but a beautiful mermaid, which of course could be a monster. You know instinctively that she means you no harm. Yeah, well, could have fooled someone probably. And put up your sword, embarrassed. But she smiles at you anyway, saying, "You are wise, sailor. There are many evil monsters here in Atlantis, and the ready sword is nothing to be ashamed of. In the windows of our cathedral I saw that you would come here, and I came to meet you." "But why did I not drown?" you ask. She replies, "By entering the pentagram, you came under the protection of powerful magic. You have been given a set of gills, just like mine. Until nightfall, you will be able to breathe water. But you don't go to the surface before then, unless you must. Once you breathe surface air, the spell will vanish, regardless of the time." Why would a spell like that be available in a pentagram in the sunken city? Why? What is the purpose of anyone who just happens to get into the pentagram being able to breathe until nightfall? I mean, why? It doesn't make any sense. It sounds like a waste of magical energy to me. Anyway, I must find a way to defeat the pirates, you say. The mermaid smiles. Unless the mer people actually have to renew their sort of ability to breathe underwater all the time, so they have to go to the pentagram. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense, but yeah, well, suspension, disbelief, all that stuff. I must find a way to defeat the pirates, you say. Why do you want to defeat the pirates? That also doesn't make any sense, because you've just been given a new lease of life. You should have been dead. The first thing you think of is revenge, which will most likely kill you. Which means you are not wise, you are stupid and foolhardy. And most likely to die within the covers of this book. So yeah. The mermaid smiles. Defeat them you will, if you are strong and clever enough. Not clever enough to run away, that's for sure. She replies, "Nobody comes to Atlantis by accident. I can tell you this much. Seek out the Black Pearls. They have powerful magic that will give you your best chance for victory. And because you fight against great odds," she continues, "I will give you a lucky charm." From around her neck, she takes a pendant in the form of a shell and gives it to you. You may use this charm instead of testing your luck. So I've got a lucky charm. The charm will make you automatically lucky, and you will not have to spend the luck points. So it's basically a free luck roll. But you may use it once and once only. Then it will vanish. So lucky charm, auto luck. I'll just put that on my character sheet. The mermaid smiles at you, blows you a kiss, and vanishes through a window with a flip of her tail. Yeah. Looking around the room, you see nothing of great interest. Stairs lead upward, and a dark shaft leads downward. Will you go upward, downward, leave the building, and explore elsewhere? Now, last time I went downward, didn't really find much. This time I'll go upward. So I'm going to go to 3, 9, 8. Ooh. You follow the stairs upwards, feeling very light and agile. At the top of the stairs, the doorway is open. The door has long since rotted. The room is littered with shells and seaweed. A silvery shape moves towards you, then another and another. The room is the lair of 3 barracudas. These silvery fish are as long as a man, but very slender. They seem to be all eyes and teeth. They circle you greedily. You must fight them. With your back to the doorway, you can meet them one at a time. The thing about fish is that they are so fast in water, especially predatory fish, that if barracudas decided to attack you, you would stand no chance. You'd be way, way, way too slow for them. They wouldn't even, they would just eat you before you even had a chance to try to attack them. They are much faster than you, so you cannot even try to escape. Right, so I'm going to do, so I've got 11, 22, and they have 6, 4, 6, 6, and 5, 6, so not too bad. So first one, I've got a 5 skill point advantage. He rolls 11, I roll 6. That is actually a draw. 6, 3, 9, 2. That is actually the barracuda biting me. 10 and 3. Not very good rolling today. 3 and 9. Okay, so the first one is dead. Second one, 2, 6, 7, 8, and finally, perhaps 6 and 8. So that one is dead too. The last one, I got a 6 skill point advantage. It rolls a 7, 7, 9, 5, and 11, 9. Also dead. I can eat a ration of food, and I'll be back up to 22 stamina. And it says, if you kill the barracudas, you will find 4 gold pieces amid the litter on the floor. So I find 4 gold pieces, so gold 4. So up here we have, I'll just put a note of this encounter. So we got 6, 4, 6, 6, 5, 6. No. And then it is 4 gold pieces in brackets. If you swim out of one of the tower windows and explore elsewhere, turn to 16. Okay, so that is an exit from the building. Oh, hang on. 16. I've got that one down there. If you go back down and explore the tunnel, turn to 233. Okay, so this is... but downstairs there was a tunnel to the left I haven't checked out. So I will now go down and explore downstairs. 2, 3, 3. Swim down the dark tunnel. About 4 meters below the level of the seafloor, it joins a hallway. If you go to the right, turn to 245. If you go to the left, turn to 270. So I'm going to go left this time. Basically, I didn't find any black pearls last time, which means that I will try to go wherever I wasn't before, basically, because that should increase my chances of finding a black pearl. The left tunnel leads slightly upward. Glowing algae on the brick walls help you see where you are going. As you swim along, the algae get dimmer and dimmer. By the time you come to a door, you can barely see. Opening the door, you are confronted with the horror of 2 glowing skeletons. If you fight them, turn to 75. If you'd rather get away from here, turn to 295. Okay. It's quite a strange structure of narrative compared to obviously a different writer now, because all the other fighting fantasy writers, they would have said you come to a door. Do you open it or go back? Whereas he's saying you come to a door, you open it, you see what's there. Do you go back or do you fight? Which is a very different, quite a different way of doing it. If you know what I mean. So okay. So 75 fight or 295 go away. I'm going to fight them, obviously, even though they are radioactive, apparently. 75. They brandish their rusty swords. You can fight them one at a time. So we got skeleton 8-5 or 7-6. If you try to escape, turn to 295. So escape. If you destroy both skeletons, turn to 328. Okay. So we have skeleton 8-5 and 7-6. So first one, I've got a 3 skill point advantage, which isn't a lot, but it should do. He rolls 10, I roll 3. He rolls 10, I roll 5. This isn't a very good good start, is it? He rolls 5, I roll 10. Yeah, that's better. He rolls 6, I roll 8, so he's down to 1 hit point. He rolls 7, I roll 7, so he's deader than he was before. The other one, I've got a 4 skill point advantage, so he rolls 9, I roll 8. He rolls 4, I roll 11. Better. He rolls 5 and I roll 7, so he is also deader than he was before. Okay. And I'm down to 18 again, and I'll have another ration. The thing is, usually your provisions, you don't run out of provisions, you do run out of stamina, so I may as well do it right away. So, so I win, and I go to 328. So 3, 2, 8, there we are. Investigating the shattered skeletons to see that each one had eyes of black pearl. There we are, black pearl, finally. You drop the 4 black pearls into your bag. Okay, so is this something that you get loads of then? If you find them, I mean. Black pearls. Black pearls 4. So BP times 4, and I'll put a green frame around that to indicate that this is where you get the black pearls. Okay. I still don't know what the black pearls are for, because last time I could have actually gone to the end to see what happened when you confront the pirates again, but instead I went to the Kraken, and of course that wasn't a good idea, was it? Okay, so drop the 4 black pearls into your bag and continue searching. In one corner of the room is a rusty metal box. If you prise the box open, turn to 357. If you ignore it and leave the room, turn to 374. And that sounds like something that could be a terrible idea or a good idea. Okay, so what's the worst that could happen? I mean, surely. So 374. 74, leave, or 357, open. Of course I'm going to open it. Well, obviously. By hammering the box against the walls, you manage to loosen the rusty hinges. A green fog seeps out from the cracks in the box, and a choking smell assaults your new gills. Test your luck. 8. Luck is now 10. If you are lucky, you manage to cast the box away from you. If you are unlucky, you inhale some of the green matter and lose 3 points of stamina. In any event, if you're still alive, you leave the room as quickly as you can. So this is something you're not supposed to do. And so it's, let's see, test luck and brackets -3 stamina. And then we go to 374. I thought it might be a trap, but I had to check, didn't I? Okay. If you want to explore the tunnel in the other direction, turn to 245. That is the one where I went last time. Let's just do that in blue, shall we? So we go down like so. If you would prefer to swim back up and out of the building, turn to 16. Which is there. Now, last time, did I actually find anything useful at all? I don't think. I found 1 gold piece. That was it. That was the only thing I found in that part of the tunnel, after having to fight for it as well. I don't need that 1 gold piece, I don't think. And so I will leave and go to 16. And already it feels like I sort of got the track of the path I need to take, at least in the beginning of this game now. So I need to get the black pearls and then get out of there, I guess. Swim away from the building over the courtyard with a pentagram and over the city of Atlantis. You find that swimming is coming very naturally to you now. Looking down over the city, you see no movement except for fish. The buildings appear deserted. Some have fallen into rubble and most are damaged, but the effect is still one of peace and beauty. 3 spots catch your eye, and you must decide which one to visit. A huge red-colored dome with a broken roof, and a naturally clear, smooth patch of sand, or a square stone building very well preserved. And these are different choices than the ones I got if I went through the other tunnel, which is interesting. It is possible that going through the other tunnel actually is the best choice here. This may be a proper sort of split in the path, but I don't know yet. So there may be other options. That actually, I should do them like so, shouldn't I? Okay, so 2, 3. So 2, 2, 3, 1, 9, 6, 3, 4, 0. And let's see, dome, sand, or square. BLD, building, square building. Okay. Right. Let's see. I see. I need to restart my camera now, so just be a few moments. Right. So, what do I go to? The dome, the sand, or the square building? A well-preserved building indicates that somebody actually stays there. A dome with a broken roof sounds like a good lair for some kind of demon of the deep, some denizen of the deep, I should say. A naturally clear, smooth patch of sand. Right, I think I'll start with the dome, so 223. Now I'm going to have to try other ones on future playthroughs probably, until there's somewhere probably in these choices there is going to be black pearls. You swim towards the huge red dome on the sea floor. The closer you get, the bigger it looks. You swim in through the broken roof. Inside you find a single great arena surrounded by tiers of benches. If you swim down towards the floor of the arena, turn to 304. If you investigate the seats, turn to 283. Okay, so this is the Colosseum, I suppose. Okay, so 304 floor or 283 seats. I'll start with the seats, shall we? Okay, so the arena seats are long, cold marble benches. A A current of water keeps them fairly clean. Why would they seem cold? I mean, we're underwater now, which means that whatever stone you touch would have the same temperature as the water. It wouldn't feel any colder, really. A current of water keeps them fairly clean. In the darkness under a bench, you see something gleaming. Cautiously you probe with your sword. It is a sea snake. Indeed, there are several of them, regarding you with lidless gazes. If you try to kill them, turn to 122. If you swim up and leave the dome, turn to 3. Okay, so leaving the dome is actually the only option, not going down to the arena floor, which is interesting enough. So I'm going to, let's see, 122 or 3. So leave or 122 attack. I'm going to try to attack them. Just in case there is something here gleaming, not just the snakes gleaming. You fight the sea snakes. They are many-colored and very beautiful, but their bite is poisonous. Each time a sea snake hits you, you lose 3 stamina points instead of 2. A successful use of luck will reduce the damage to 1, but an unsuccessful use of luck will increase it to 4. You fight the nest of sea snakes as a single opponent. That is actually quite a hard battle. So let's see, so 9, 7 asterisk. If you escape, turn to 3. Yes. Okay, so if you kill them, go to 206. 206. There we are. Okay, so let's get started. 9, 7. I am 1122 still, so I've only got a 2 skill point advantage. I may need to use a bit of luck here, but I'll see. Okay. They roll 9. I roll 7. That is a draw. 10. 7. Okay, so I get hit, and for 3 damage. Okay, so I'm going to go down to 19 stamina. I'm not using luck yet, or should I? No, I shouldn't. 5, 10. They've only got 5 stamina left. Maybe I should use luck to try to increase the damage on them. So if I would do a luck roll now, and I fail, which means I actually only lost 1 hit point. I usually don't fail luck rolls, but there you go. They roll 3, I roll 3. Okay, that's great. So they got 4 stamina left. They roll 4, I roll 9, so they got 2 stamina left. And finally, not quite, perhaps, they roll 9 and I roll 5, so I'm down to 16 stamina. I'm just going to take the stamina hit. Ooh, they roll 12, I roll 5. I'm down to 13. They roll 3 and I roll 9, and so they are dead, and I will be eating a few more provisions. Let's see, 9, 2. So I'm going to eat 2 provisions and be up at, let's see, that's 8, so that's 21 stamina. I'm going to run out of provisions at this rate. Okay. Right. 206. This better be worth it. No, it wasn't worth it. Okay, so no point attacking the snakes at all. The sea snakes are all dead. You continue your investigation of the stadium seats, but find nothing of interest. If you swim up and out of the arena, turn to 3. If you go down to the arena floor, turn to 304. So, right, so that means that there is absolutely no point attacking the snakes. For future reference, abandoned on the arena floor, you find a harpoon. You can add it to your possessions if you like. I would like that. actually. So a harpoon. The arena seems even more huge as you drift to the floor and look about you. You can imagine the combats and spectacles that must have been held here. But the huge stadium is empty now. What will you do? Leave the way you entered, which is number 3. Okay. Okay, so harpoon, just put that on the map now. Leave the way you entered, swim towards the ground level exits, 161, or investigate the seats. Okay, so I've been, oh, hang on. I'm messing up my map again, as usual. Okay, so so this is the one that leads there. And to those, and then this one leads to not there. 283 and 161. So that is the ground exit leave top. Okay, so so that is the new option I get now that I hadn't had before. I'm going to go with the ground level exits and see if there's anything interesting down there. You leave the arena floor and enter an underwater labyrinth lit only by the glowing moss on the walls. Moss? Underwater? Yeah. Not moss then, is it? Because moss by definition is a... yeah, well, never mind. Here, when Atlantis was young, were the gladiators' quarters, and here, behind these barnacle-covered iron bars, must have been the animal cages. Fascinated, you continue to search, finding nothing that is useful, but much that is strange and interesting. At length, you notice a stronger glow, not sunlight, but a blue phosphorescence. If you swim towards it, turn to 251. If you keep to the darkened areas, turn to 346. Okay. Interesting enough choice, I guess. I'm going to do those up there, actually. In case I need a space here for the other ones. So we've got 251 phosphorescence or 346 stay in the dark. Now, a blue phosphorescence could be some kind of bioluminescent animal, of course, that wants to eat me. Indeed, anglerfish, they actually fish. They got a sort of, like, it looks like a bit like a fishing pole sticking out of the head that has a glowing blue thing at the end, some of them, and this might be an anglerfish of some sort. I'm going to keep to the darkened areas in this case, I think. 346. Staying back from the unnatural glow, you turn a corner and head down a darker corridor. The mud on the floor is growing thicker. You see something gleaming on the floor. Swimming down, you pick it up and find that it is a bone from a human arm. You turn to leave, but your path is blocked. A dark figure has emerged from the mud and is standing silhouetted in the doorway. It is a caricature of a woman formed out of mud. Oozing arms reach out for you. You must fight it. Okay, so that is interesting. 8. Muck Demon. The Muck Demon is clumsy, but she has power over the slime and silt on the floor. It rises in a great cloud, choking and blinding you. For this battle, subtract 3 from your attack strength on each round. OMG, that is... So basically, it's be like fighting with 8 skill rather than 11. So that is going to make it much hairier. If you escape, turn to 41. Okay, so it is possible to escape. So let's just do... If you destroy the Muck Demon, turn to 366. Okay, so I'm going to move that over there. So we've got escape 41 or 366. I would have thought it was impossible to escape because it actually is barring the way out, isn't it? Yeah, anyway. So yeah, escape. Right, so that means that for the purposes of this battle, I am fighting an 8-8, and I am currently an 8-21. I do have the advantage of having more stamina. I'm going to run out of provisions at this rate, but let's see. I do also have some luck I can use. Okay, first of all, so we roll 7 and 9, so that I'll get the first hit in. I want to use luck to try to do some extra damage. So I roll 7, yeah. So my luck goes down to 8, and I do 4 damage instead of 2. Then 6 versus 7, so that's me hitting her again. I'll just leave that one. And 8 and 8, that's a draw. 6, 6, that's a draw. 3, 9, I win. Okay, that was actually quite painless. So I destroy the Muck Demon and go to 366. The Muck Demon collapses into a heap of slime. Stirring through it gingerly, you find a colorless jewel. Restore 3 luck points. Oh, wow. So a jewel and plus 3 luck. Okay, so that means my luck is now back to 11, which is the max. And then I found a colorless jewel. That is interesting. Okay. You leave the room and swim towards the blue glow you saw earlier. Okay, no choice now then. So that is 2, 5, 1. There we are. You swim towards the blue glow. It brightens until you can see clearly. You peer through an open door and see a little old merman standing over a workbench. He is sawing at a piece of wood, but his saw is a silvery sawfish. That's quite low tech, isn't it? Other fish tools hang on the walls, and the blue glow comes from a brilliant glowfish that hovers over his head. If you dive through and attack the old merman, turn to 25. If you will talk to him, turn to 57. This is a typical talk, not fight situation, I think. Let me move this. I still don't know how much space I'll need for these encounters here, which may be a lot, actually. So I'm going to move the mapping of this over here. Like so. Some really loud seagulls outside. I'm not sure if you can hear those. Yeah, there's a bit of seagull screaming there. So 25 attack or 57 talk. Somebody underlined 57 to 58 here with pencil, but yeah, nevertheless. The merman is surprised to see a land dweller in his workshop, but he is friendly. When he hears your story, he is sympathetic. I'd like to help you if I can, he says. If you have anything to pay, I will sell you some of my spare toolfish. They are magical and may be of use. What would you do? Offer gold, offer a black pearl, offer the harpoon, decline, or attack. And the attack now is a different paragraph than the one before, actually. I always find these things interesting when sort of two options are apparently on the surface of it the same, but they lead to different paragraphs, which leads me to think that something different will happen, of course. Now, as useful as a harpoon would be, maybe I should give him the harpoon. Anyway, let's put up the options on my map now. So I'll just put them here, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's try to squeeze it onto the side here so that I maximize the available space for my map. even if I tried to space it out quite well last time, it looks like this might be a tight squeeze because the areas I went through last time actually sort of bypassed a lot of the interesting things, it seems. Right. So, attack 329. I'm going to put that close to the other attack option down here. 1, 3, 2 gold. I do have a bit of gold though. 3, 7, 3 pearl. It has been told I need those, but I don't know. Harpoon 7, 6. Harpoon 150 decline. So I'm going to offer the harpoon, which I just found. I mean, the gold I may have used for the gold for something else. I don't know. I may have used for the black pearls. I will have used for the black pearls for something else. I know that. I'm going to offer the harpoon. He declines politely. He doesn't need that. Turn back to 57 and make a different choice. Or turn to 150 to leave. Okay, so that is actually the wrong answer, so to speak. So pearls, gold. I'll try gold in that case. 132. The merman is quite fond of gold, but he asks 2 pieces for each fish. If you will pay that price, turn to 316 and choose 1 fish for every 2 gold pieces you pay. Okay, I don't know what kind of fish I'm choosing from here, so maybe I'll... If you cannot or will not pay that price, turn back to 57 and make a different offer and turn to 150 and leave. Okay, so of course I don't know how useful these tool fish are going to be. 2 golds worth of tool fish. Yeah, I suppose I can buy 1. So I'm going to go to 316. 316. That is 2 gold pieces. 316. He offers you your choice of 4 useful fish: a sawfish, an axefish, a borer fish, and a glowfish, like the one overhead. These are the only fish that he has to spare, and he has only 1 of each to offer you. Okay, well, I don't know if or when I will have use for any of these things. What kind of fish would I have use for? I can imagine glowfish would be useful if I go get somewhere that is so dark that I can't see. Borefish, axefish, sawfish. It wouldn't surprise me if all of these are useful somewhere in the book. I just don't know which one will be useful where I need to go and where I might end up going. Should I go with the glowfish? I'll go with the glowfish. Okay, glowfish. It's like buying a lantern, isn't it? Okay. So let's see. So I have here saw, axe, bore, glow. Okay. And then we go to 150. Okay, 150. There we are. You leave the merman's workshop and swim through the underwater corridors. Soon you see a light, an opening to the outside. You leave the arena and swim towards the strange patch of clean sand that you noticed earlier. Oh, so I actually get to do both of those. That is interesting too, because when something you choose bypasses something, usually the bit that you bypass is the interesting one, or the most interesting one. So that means I'll just put a line now back to the sand here. So I'm going to go like so. 196. Which also means maybe the square building was actually the best choice. I don't know yet. You swim closer until you see a large area of clean white sand. Standing upright in the sand is a moss-covered human skull. Again, probably not moss. I think you'll find it's some kind of seaweed or bacterial thing or something. As you approach, the water around the skull begins to shimmer, and you hear a thin voice inside your head. What will you do? Run away, listen, or attack? Okay, so I'm going to put those options up here. So just going to put a black line there. So 10, run. Isn't it run away, swim away, swim fast, run? Is running, swimming fast called running, really? I don't know. 26, attack, or listen. I'm going to listen to the voice. See what it has to say. Might be something useful. The shimmering of water forms into a vague human shape as the voice inside your head tells a sad story. This ghost was once a sea captain, slain by treachery when his crew mutinied. He was eaten by fish, and his bones were scattered, so he cannot find rest. He asks if you will gather his bones and give him a decent burial. If you help him, turn to 101. If not, turn to 216. And I will help him, I guess. Okay, so if I do like so. So 101 help, 216 not. I'm going to try to help him. So 101. Restore 2 points of luck. Okay, so +2 luck. My luck is at max, yes, so that's fine. The ghost leads you to various places around the city to find his scattered bones. The creatures of the deep give you both a wide berth as you work. Some of the bones are exposed on the sea floor, others are buried in sand or coral. As you work, you find a single gold piece. So +1 gold. I forgot to deduct the gold for the toolfish, so I'm now at 3 gold. Before the job is done, you are tired. Half your remaining stamina is lost. Oh, okay. Rounded down. So I lose 10 points of stamina. So I'm down to... Oh, I'll just put it... Yeah, I'll just put it there. So that is 11. At last you are finished. The skull and bones are placed in a large urn, wedged safely between 2 large rocks and covered with sand. As to put the so minus 50% stamina as well. The ghost is pleased. His spirit is now free. In return, he offers to help you by leading you to a sealed bottle nearby. He does not know what is in it, but he senses magic. He takes you to the bottle. Roll 1 die to see what you have found. Okay. So, that's quite an interesting encounter, this whole thing here. So I'm going to go and put the bottle up here. 1, 2, and 3 options. I think I'll go with blue again now. So I'm going to go like so. 84, 360, and 48. So that is random. I presume that all of the 3 things are useful, because otherwise, I mean, it would be a bit... I mean, losing half your stamina is quite a lot. So that is 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and 5 to 6. Okay. So let's see what I get. 4. That is 84. The bottle is made of red glass, inscribed on the outside in your own language, which the ghost apparently could not read, are the words healing potion. You may drink it now or take it with you. It It may be taken at any time except during a battle and will restore your stamina to its initial level. Okay, that's what I need after all that hard work. So I've got a healing potion. So that's stamina full. Okay. You thank the ghost and leave. It doesn't say that you can only use it once, but yeah, you can only use it once, I guess. You thank the ghost and leave, swimming towards the square stone building you saw earlier. So I actually get to do all of those things now. 84. Oh, hang on. I went to the wrong one. I didn't get a healing potion. I got something else. I rolled a 4. I'm supposed to go to 360. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's try again. But I'll just make a note of that. Healing. The bottle is made of green glass with a lead seal inscribed with some strange runes. When you pick it up, the ghost becomes agitated. Be careful, he says. I sense very strong magic. There is great reward here, but there is great danger too. If you feel lucky enough to open the bottle, turn to 184. If you abandon the bottle and swim away to investigate the stone building you saw earlier, turn to 159. 159. I'll just put 159 down here then. 159. Okay, so. But I'm going to open this. 184. Let's remove the healing potion that I didn't get. Could have used that. 184. Yeah, let's have a little look. You decide to take a chance and tug on the seal. As you do so, the ghost speeds away, evaporating as he does so. The lead seal pops off and a huge bubble emerges from the bottle. It solidifies into a huge frowning genie, wearing a jeweled turban. For 1,000 years I have been trapped inside that cursed bottle, the genie roars. I have waited too long for my fated rescuer. Dare you explain your woeful delay, or should I strike you dead on the spot? Test your luck. 10. I am lucky. So 10. Okay. If you're lucky, you manage to placate the genie. He raises your initial skill score by 1 and restores all lost skill points before vanishing. My skill is now 12. If you're unlucky, your explanation is not convincing. The genie lets you live, barely. He gestures and the water around you freezes and covers you with ice. Then he vanishes. Through frantic effort, you manage to break the ice before you freeze. Your stamina is reduced to 1. Oh my. Yeah, so that went fine, I guess. So 184 and luck and +1 in it skill or 1 stamina. Okay. Right. That is risky, but I suppose if you got good luck there, or you can use the lucky charm, might actually be worth using for that if your luck isn't that great, I think. That still means I need to eat something, though, to get my stamina up. So I'm going to have 2 more rations. So I'm up to 19 stamina as I go to 159. There we are. You approach the building from the side. Swimming around to the front, you see a wide entrance with marble steps and huge bronze doors, now corroded and green. The doors are ajar. Within the building is a huge fat fish which sees you and swims lazily in your direction. It is the grouper, at least twice as big as you are. It looks hungry. What will you do? Attack it with your sword, use the harpoon, swim away, or circle around it? I'm just checking now, just to see, because... yeah, okay. I am wondering where should I put this on my map now so that there's room. So I'm thinking I have to actually go down here. And this is going to make my map really convoluted. But I just need to make sure that I can actually see everything on it. So we've got 119, 280, 230, or 93. So that is attack, harpoon. Just the fact that that is an option sounds to me like I should try that. Swim or 93, circle. So I'm going to try to use the harpoon. I mean, this must be what it's for, surely. And that is the first time I've seen the option of using harpoon as well. As the grouper eyes you, you sheathe your sword and heft the harpoon. The grouper rushes towards you, its mouth open wide. You dodge skillfully and stab it at it with the harpoon. Roll 2 dice. If the result is less than or equal to your current skill, I rolled a 12. Which is my skill. And actually that means I succeeded because I met the genie just now. If the result is greater than your current skill, turn to 375. So that's skill and okay, so 3, 2, 4, 6 or 375. So 375 fail, 2, 4, 6 success. Okay. You stab the grouper with your harpoon. It jerks in surprise. Instead of pressing the attack, it flees, taking the harpoon with it. Turn to 340. Okay, so this is where I get to the same paragraph that I was offered in the beginning. So now I've actually seen the dome, the sandbank, and the square building. So this is, I get to do all of these strings if I do them in that order at least. There was no indication after doing the sandbank that you would be able to do the dome. So this looks like the correct order of things. So I lose my harpoon, although that's probably a harpoon well spent. So the difference is if you go to the square building first, there is no grouper there. And if you go there after, there is a grouper there. So that's, I suppose, the difference. So there we are. 340. You swim between the huge bronze doors and enter the stone building. The interior, like the exterior, is solid grey and overgrown with coral. Huge stone crypts line the walls, each with its own statue. Some of the statues are human, while some have fishy features, but all are proud, noble, and much the worse for wear. Try to read the inscriptions on the crypts, but they are in a script which is strange to you. At the far end of the mausoleum, you see one statue in somewhat better repair than the others. In its right hand it bears a huge rod, and on its head is a crown. As you approach, you see that the crown is made of green jade, elaborately carved in the form of a chain of leaping dolphins. It is not part of the statue, but is a separate carving. If you lift the crown from the statue's head, turn to 11. If you leave the crown where it is and search the mausoleum for other things of interest, turn to 331. Now, trying to take the crown off a statue in a mausoleum is like asking to be attacked by some really powerful undead being, isn't it? So I'm not going to do that. I am, let's see, where are we now? So 340 and gives us 2 options. So 11, crown, or 331, other things of interest. So 331. So I'm going to search for other things in this case. 331. Brushing away sand and shells, you find a huge trapdoor on the floor. A bronze ring fully half a meter across serves as the handle. If you try to open it, turn to 90. If you would rather just leave the mausoleum, turn to 23. So I am probably going to open that. Let's see. So 23. Leave, or 90. Is it 90? Where are we now? 3, 4. No, hang on. Yes, 90 open. So it's going to do a different color so I don't mix up my map with the other lines here. So I'm going to try to open that. Roll 3 dice. If the result is less than or equal to your current stamina, let's see, I'll need one more die then. Stamina is 19. 6, 7, 8, yeah. Okay, so we got test stamina. If the result is more than your current stamina, the door opens anyway, but you have strained yourself and you lose 1 stamina point. So that's not so bad. And then you go to 271. Okay. The trapdoor opens. Instantly a whirlpool forms and sucks you down to the darkness below. If that's the kind of suction that was under it, how on earth was I able to open it? Just asking. It actually is technically impossible. Turn to 12. Okay. So 271 to 12. The trapdoor slams shut behind you as you whirl in the current. You catch hold of something to steady yourself. You are in pitch blackness. If you possess a glowfish, I did buy a glowfish, didn't I? Very prescient of me. Turn to 258, if not, turn to 113. Okay, so this is where I probably should move my map somewhere else. Maybe, I mean, this over here, there's room, I guess. If I, let's see if I move my mapping up here now. So 258 or 113, glowfish or not. So, and then I use a green one to take my line up here, just so I don't mix it up with any other lines, like so. And then I go to 258 because I have a glowfish. You fumble in your leather bag and remove the glowfish. When you release it in the water, it expands into a long blue glowing creature. It swims obediently around over your head, lighting up the surroundings. You see that you are in a large coral grotto with a moderately strong current running through it. What will you do? Swim upstream, downstream, try to open the trapdoor and escape. Okay, so 3 options. 1, 2, 3. And it's interesting now that I've hardly been, since I started now, I've hardly been anywhere I've been before, just the very beginning. All the rest of it is stuff that I didn't even see last time, which is interesting in the way it is structured, I think. Okay. 3, 6, 5, trapdoor. Doesn't sound like a good idea, actually, or doesn't sound possible. 2, 2, 1, downstream. I think I'm going to start with upstream because the downstream obviously should be easy once I've done upstream, not the other way around. 384 upstream, if I can get upstream at all. I'm going to try to go upstream. 384, yes. As you swim upstream, the coral grotto narrows until it becomes a tight passageway. You brush against one wall and are cut by a sharp branch of coral. Lose 1 stamina point. What is all this coral doing here in the darkness anyway? Okay, so stamina 18. And -1 stamina. Say -1 stamina. Ahead of you, you can see that the tunnel narrows still further. If you press ahead, turn to 345. If you turn back, turn to 197. I'm just going to put those options up here. So 197, turn back. Or 345, 5, press Ahead. Okay, I'll try to press ahead, and if I can do that, maybe I'll get stuck and die though. As you thread your way through the narrow tunnel, you are cut again. Lose 1 more stamina point. 17, that's alright. The current is strong and you are fighting it every bit of the way. Abruptly, the tunnel opens into a small cubical room with walls that look like polished stone. Turn to 372. Okay, 372. Okay, that is interesting. So there is something there. Now let's find out if it was worth the effort to get up there. You're in a small cubical room. The roof appears to be made of ice. The floor is invisible beneath a layer of bubbling steam. Nervously, you paddle between the two. You know you are in the presence of strong magic. In the center of the room is a misty-looking humanoid figure, clad in... Maybe you should have led with that, because that's what you notice first, isn't it? Clad in the loincloth of seaweed. The strong current of water is coming directly from its body. The water elemental looks angry at your intrusion and lifts a hand threateningly. What will you do? Attempt to parley, flee back down the coral tunnel, attack with your sword. Sword against water. That doesn't sound like it's very effective. Probably I will go with my usual MO and try to talk before attacking. 3, 2, 7. Parley. 2, 10. Attack. Or 58. Flee. Okay. I'm going to attempt to parley. So 327. You hold out your empty hands peacefully. The misty water elemental lowers its own hand and asks your business. You tell your story. The elemental is sympathetic but cannot help you. I am a prisoner here, held by the enchantment of the bone demon, it explains. I may not leave this room without a black pearl, only that will break the spell. If you have such a pearl, turn to 115, if not, turn to 187. Okay. Now we're talking. I might be able to spare a pearl for a water elemental. I wouldn't for a fish tool, but yeah. So 187, 115, black, pearl, or not. I have such a pearl. 115. Excuse me. You do, in fact, possess a black pearl, so it is within your power to free the water elemental. What will you do? Give the elemental a pearl, ask the elemental what it will exchange, tell the elemental you have no pearl. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 187, no, 242, exchange, or 343, give. I am going to just give it a black pearl. 343. The elemental is overjoyed by your gift. Free at last, it shouts. Now I can get my revenge for this captivity. The steam on the room's floor rises up and melts the ice on the ceiling. A dark hole is revealed. The elemental blesses you. Increase your initial luck score by 1 and raise your luck to its new maximum. Whoa. Okay, so this is actually a second time now I've been able to increase my initial scores, which is very interesting. Okay, so so +1 in it luck, and that means my luck is now also 12. It also presents you with a shining bit of ice. This crystal will not melt, it tells you. You can use it to call upon me once. Okay, so I can get help from a water elemental crystal. Okay. I will hear your summons and bear you from any place in the world's waters to any other place. Then it darts away through the hole in the ceiling. Almost instantly, you hear the sounds of battle. Finally, silence comes. If you go up and see what happened, turn to 310. You talked about the bone demon, didn't you? So I'm thinking maybe that is the one here on the cover. That looks like a bone demon to me. Okay. If you'd rather return the way you came, turn to 42. Okay, so we have 42. Okay, that is not an option I've seen before. So we've got 2 options. 42, return, or go up. 310, go up. And now, actually, it's time for me to have a little break. So I'll be back shortly. I need to offload my memory card of my camera. I need to go to the loo. I need to refill my water. Maybe I'll make a cup of tea as well. So I'll see you very briefly. Right, I am back at my desk. I got my cup of tea. I've refilled my water bottles. I had a little snack as well, because I was getting a bit peckish. And let's find out what's going on here, and what it turns out to be a much longer adventure than I was expecting to be playing today, considering how short time it took last time. Where was I now? Let's see. I was 343. Yeah, let's see. 343. I've got 2 options after 343. Either go back where I came from, or to go up and see what happened. I'm going to go up and see what happened. Curiously, you inch up the narrow tunnel. You emerge into another room which is somewhat larger than the elemental's chamber. The room is a wreck. Old bones and broken weapons are everywhere. There is no sign of the elemental or of the demon that it said it would fight. Within a smashed skull, you find 2 black pearls. Ooh. So 2 BP. Let's put a little circle around that. So I gave 1 black pearl to the water elemental, and then I got 2 now, which means my total is now 5. In the ceiling, you see another tunnel leading up. If you follow it upward, turn to 361. If you go back down through the elemental's chamber and the coral grotto, turn to 42. It seems to want to lead me back to 42 here now, doesn't it? Or go up, which is 361. Sometimes when it's sort of a book insists so much that you go a certain way, it is the best way. Other times it is trying to trick you into a trap. I'm going to follow it upward, so I'm going to go to 361. The dark chimney tunnel winds around and then opens onto the sea floor. You emerge from a small hole not far from the mausoleum door. Its duty done, the glowfish swims away. So, I've done, the glowfish has done its glowing. Turn to 23. Okay, 23. Let's put that down there. 23. Okay. As you swim away from the mausoleum, you spy a large, sleek dolphin. It has already seen you and is swimming in your direction. What will you do? Flee, speak to it, or attack it? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got And 259, flee. 387, attack. Or 198, speak. Unless this is an evil dolphin, I think I should be okay speaking to it. 198. If you possess a Jade Crown, turn to 300. If not, turn to 50. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So the Jade Crown, maybe that is a useful item after all. So we've got... I think I need to swap pages soon. So 300 Jade Crown, or which could be a, I suppose it was a dolphin crown, wasn't it? So not okay. Crown question mark. Okay. I don't have a Jade Crown because I was being a bit chicken back in the mausoleum. The dolphin swims curiously around you, squeaking. It seems to be very excited about something. It tries to push you to the surface, but you resist, and it swims away, as though abashed. And then it returns and circles you before darting away again. You look in the direction it is swimming and see a huge sand-collared shark closing in rapidly. The dolphin arrows towards it. If you want to join the dolphin in fighting the shark, turn to 218. If you retire from the scene and let them fight it out, turn to 72. Now, I don't know where I am geographically now compared to these other places. I think I'll just try to stay on the same page for now. So I'm going to go over here. So something like here, I guess. Just to make the nice convoluted map. So I've got two options. 218, fight, or 72, retire. From the scene, not from being a sailor or anything. I'm going to help the dolphin fight the shark. 218. Together, you and the dolphin fight the huge shark. You and the dolphin each make a separate attack on the shark in each attack round, but the shark must choose which of you two it will fight. Roll one die for the shark before each turn. On an even roll, it attacks you. On an odd roll, it attacks... Oh, typo. If attacks, it says. So it attacks the dolphin. I like making note of typos, so I'm going to put here typo. The shark attacks its chosen target as in a normal battle. Against the other, even if the shark's attack strength is greater, it will not inflict a wound, etc. It is just counted as though it has defended itself against it. However, if the shark's other opponent has a higher attack strength, so it's basically the standard fighting against two opponents combat, except this time you are the two opponents fighting one person rather than the other way around. If you escape, whether or not the dolphin is still alive, turn to 72. Okay, so there is an escape route there, ESC. If you kill the shark, take one of its huge teeth as a memento and turn to 332. Okay, so 3, 3, 2, and tooth. Right, so let's just do this little fight then. So I have got 12, 17. Shark is 8, 15. The dolphin is 10, 9. Okay, so first of all, it attacks the dolphin on an odd roll. So, no, it attacks me. So, the shark attacks me this time. I'm going to roll for the shark against me first. I've got a 4 skill point advantage. He rolls a 9. I roll a 7. So that means he is down to 13. And then the dolphin attacks the shark. Shark rolls 4. Dolphin rolls 6. So he is down another 2. Next round, shark rolls 6, which means he attacks me again. So he rolls 5, I roll 7, so he's down 2. And against the dolphin, he rolls 8, and the dolphin rolls 4, which means he successfully defends himself against the dolphin that round. Next round, he rolls 2 again, so that means he attacks me. He rolls 5, I roll 2, that is still hit on him. And he rolls 12, and the dolphin rolls 11, which means the dolphin hits him as well. Next round, he attacks the dolphin. Shark rolls 10, I roll 8, he's down to 3. And against the dolphin, he rolls 7, dolphin rolls 8, he's down to 1. Last round, most likely, he rolls a 4, so he attacks me. Shark rolls 11, I roll 7, that is a draw. Shark rolls 2, but the dolphin rolls 7, and the shark is dead. Long live the shark. Okay. So I take a shark tooth. I still got my... got a colorless jewel. I got my lucky charm still. Yeah. Should probably eat a provision. So I'm up at 21 stamina. Let's see. So, tooth, and I win 332. 330 tooth? Yes. If you have the Jade Crown and the dolphin is still alive, turn to 240. If you don't have the crown but the dolphin is still alive, if the dolphin is dead. Okay, so obviously the Jade Crown is very important to this dolphin. So 3 options there, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 240, Jade Crown, D alive, 151, no crown, and 350, no dolphin. Yeah, that's clear enough, isn't it? Okay, so no crown but dolphin, 151. It's clear that the dolphin wants this crown, doesn't it? The dolphin circles you, swimming off a short way and then returning. At last you realize that it wants you to follow. You're a bit slow on the uptake, aren't you? You trail it through a hidden break in the coral reef, over a steep underwater cliff, and down to a patch of sand between a sunken galleon and a huge iron gate that opens into an underwater garden. It butts you playfully with its nose, arrows off, and vanishes. If you proceed through the gate, turn to 2. If you would rather look at the sunken ship first, turn to 282. Now, this sounds like something I have seen before. So I'll have a little look now on my map. Wasn't there somewhere with a garden? Yeah, well, if it is, the paragraph numbers are different. Let's see. Yeah, no, okay. So still no overlap there of my old map. So this is a completely different adventure today, I would say. So garden or galleon? I'm going to look at the galleon first, I think. So 2 galleon. No, 2 is 282 is Galleon, and 2 is Garden. 282. That's how it looked. 282. You approach the sunken ship. The masts are still tall and straight, and a few rags of sail are still waving in the current. But a great hole has been torn in one side. You can see movement inside. Something indistinct but large is making its home there. If you investigate, turn to 24. If you go elsewhere, turn to 222. So 222 or 24. Okay, so 24 in investigate or 222 elsewhere. I'm going to. That also starts with a 222. Did I not see a 222 somewhere? Oh, hang on. There we are. That is where it is. Okay, so all this way I've done now brings me back here, which is just after the beginning last time. So I'm going to Galleon. Okay, so the only option that wasn't there was the palace there in that case. So Galleon, let's see. So I'm going to move that down there. It's Galleon and Garden. Okay. Garden. Okay. So I'm going to remove these ones now. So I did the Galleon, and that means I get two options, which is 222 elsewhere, or 24 in investigate. So right, I've gone full circle and back to where I was the last time. Okay. I'm going to investigate. Maybe I should save my game now because it's been a long playthrough, so just in case. You enter the sunken ship. In the sudden dimness, you can barely see where you're going. You grab the side of a door and try to feel your way. Test your luck. Luck is 12. I roll 3. Luck goes down to 11. Let's see. So let's see. Luck. And then we have 2 options. 3. No. 1, 2, 3. Unlucky. Or 3, 4, 8. Lucky. So I'm lucky, and I go to 348. Your foot falls. Yeah, that was lucky. Your foot falls centimeters away from a huge clam, which closes with a clashing sound. What will you do? Kill the clam with your sword, look for the captain's cabin, or look for the treasure hold. Kill the clam with my sword. Might have a pearl in it. Maybe it's got a silver pearl. So 3 options. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 97. Kill. 40. Cabin. Or 192. Hold. So I'm going to try to kill the clam. You bend and run your sword between the clam's shells. It opens, revealing a large silver pearl. So that was right. That is where the silver pearl is. And so silver pearl. So I've got a silver pearl as well now. Silver pearl. Even my character sheet is getting a bit messy from having played this long now. You take the treasure gleefully and pop it into your bag, but while you are distracted, a huge sea spider falls from the ceiling onto your back. It wounds you once, costing you 2 stamina points, so my stamina is then 19. Before you can defend yourself, you fight the sea spider. I can escape by going to 222. Let's see, so it's a 7. 10 there, and I can't escape, which is 222, and that is ESC. Or if I win, I go to 371. Okay, so 710. Let's have a fight, shall we? So I am currently at 1219. So that's 1219. Is my skill and stamina, and the sea spider has 710. So I've got a 5 skill point advantage. He rolls 7, I roll 9. He's down to 8. He rolls 5, I roll 11. He's down to 6. He rolls 8, I roll 10. He's down to 4. He rolls 2, I roll 4. He's down to 2. And finally, perhaps he rolls 10, and I roll 5, which is a draw. He rolls 12. I roll 2. That should have been extra damage, shouldn't it? He rolls 8 and I roll 7 and he is dead. Okay. And I eat the provision. Hang on, 2 left, and I'm up to 21 again. I'm starting to run out seriously of provisions. Lovely cuppa. Okay. 371. You pull your sword from the body of the sea spider and move on. Where will you go? Captain's cabin, treasure hold, away from the ship towards the gardens. So let's do a different color there. 7, 10. So there we are. And then I can go to Captain's cabin, hold, or towards the gardens, which is down there. Like so. Captain's cabin? Yeah, let's go to Captain's cabin, shall we? You make your way forward to the captain's cabin. In a water-soaked desk, you find the ship's papers. Most of them are totally ruined, but one set of charts was waterproof. You study them, and your seafaring experience quickly lets you identify your approximate position. To your surprise, several islands are shown nearby, where you had not known any existed. They are marked with names like Tar Feather Island, Gorblimey Rocks, Fish Island, Kestrel Island, and a skull and crossbones. You find nothing else in the cabin. The maps are too big to carry, so you leave them behind. You can visit the treasure hold if you have not already done so. Okay. Names like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like that actually gives you any indication of what's going on, apart from the fact that you now know that there is an island you're going to, I suppose. Let's try the treasure hold. Again, saving my game now, I think, because I got so far. So I can do, so go to 192, or leave 222, it says, which is down there. Hold 192. You swim aft and downwards to the treasure hold. It is totally empty. The walls are torn apart, and the damage does not seem to have been done by coral reefs, but rather by gigantic claws. From her lines, you are sure this was a treasure ship, but though you search carefully, you find nothing but a single gold piece, wedged between 2 timbers. Okay, so I've got a single extra gold piece. If you leave now, turn to 222. If you have not already checked the captain's cabin, you may do so now. Turn to 40. So 40, and I can also leave there. So like so. For leaving it is then 222. Not really left with any more options now. Not far from the ship, you see an entrance to the underwater gardens. You swim towards it. Turn to 2. So there we are. So that's the galleon there on my map. Right. Let's do the gardens. Gardens is then the galleon and the gardens are sort of a choke point now. Right. The underwater gardens seem to be laid out just like a formal garden on land. You swim through the heavy iron gate, noting that it's not as old rusty. Inside the gate you see many beautiful specimens of seaweed, coral and water plants. Instead of birds, the trees are filled with colorful fish. The trees. It is eerie but peaceful. A few yards from the gate, the path splits in two. If you go to the left, turn to 359. If you go to the right, turn to 174. Now, last time I went left and I found interesting things, I suppose. I was going to go left, I think, same path as last time, just to make sure I get to the right place. Go back. Will it lead me to the same guy? I think because I want to meet the guy in who lives in the garden. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go right now, but I'm gonna save my game just in case. That means I'll miss meeting him. As you go along the path, the small coral and plants are replaced by taller seaweed. Gradually, the garden becomes a forest. From ahead of you comes a sound like a bubbling roar. You stop and listen. A minute later, the sound is repeated from closer by. If you want to flee in the other direction, turn to 359. If you go forward to see what made the noise, turn to 38. And that doesn't sound very nice at all. I'm going to do that over here, I think. So 3, 5, 9, 3, 8. Oh, hang on. 359. That is actually the same as going left. Okay, so 3, 8. Wait. Okay. I'm just going to go back then. 3, 5, 9. So there we go. The path winds between more seaweed and coral displays. Soon you come to a small clearing. In the middle of the clearing is a marble fountain, but instead of shooting water, the fountain releases a constant stream of fine bubbles which drift to the surface far above. Within the bowl of the fountain, you can see something glittering. If you pick it up, turn to 209. That was something dodgy going on there, wasn't there? Let's check what happens there. I think I'm supposed to not do that. I just can't remember exactly what. Yeah, because it's a scorpion fish, isn't there? That's supposed to be marked with red, I think. So I'm going to go on 20. I'm not going to do the fountain. What I'm going to do is restart my camera. Right, you enter the part of the garden that looks rather like an orchard. Tall branches of coral support vine-like plants bearing red and orange fruit. On the sandy floor of the garden, small crabs and fish are picking at a fallen fruit. If you sample the fruit, turn to 124. If you go on without eating, turn to 234. Okay. So eating gave me stamina, according to my thing. So I'm going to eat 124. The fruit tastes delicious, like a pear with honey. It restores 2 lost stamina points, which means my stamina is now back to... Hang on, I lost some in the battle. Did I lose some in the battle? 17. Hang on, yeah. So actually I'm 19 now. 19 stamina. Okay. You try another one, but it has no further effect. You swim on down the path. Turn to 234. The path curves and branches. Ahead of you, it opens into a neatly kept clearing. Within the clearing is a very ordinary-looking cottage surrounded by a great iridescent bubble. Inside the bubble, you can see ordinary land-dwelling shrubs and even a cat. You swim closer and peer through the bubble into a window of the cottage. Inside, you can see an old man sitting at a desk. Suddenly, he becomes aware of you and looks up. Meeting your eye, he waves you towards the front of the cottage. His attitude is brisk and no nonsense. If you swim back into the cover of the gardens, turn to 322. If you go around to the front and meet the old man, turn to 135. I will meet him. The door opens and the old man strides out. He introduces himself as Greylock and invites you in. Cautiously, you step through the protective bubble, feeling your skin tingle. Once inside, you find you are breathing air. He chuckles at your surprise. Ah, you are no wizard then. You tell him about the pentagram that bestowed the gills on you. And he nods. A powerful spell. Don't worry, my home here is under a different enchantment which will not interfere with your protection. You may have heard the name Greylock before. If you possess something bearing that name, turn to 14. I do not. If not, turn to 225. Old Greylock is full of questions, and you are not entirely sure you trust him. He is displaying a very keen interest in your doings and in the things you have found during your sojourn in Atlantis. Suddenly, from a pocket of his long robe, he produces a wand. If you decide to attack him before he can use the wand, turn to 95. If you wait and see what he does, I will wait and see what he does. He sketches a frame in the air around you and studies you as though you were a picture in a gallery, muttering to himself. Bravery alone will do you no good, he states. Cunning will bring victory. Bravery and cunning together will make your fortune. He studies you further. Have you any black pearls? He asks. If your answer is yes, turn to 175. If it is no, turn to 67. It is yes, 175. Which is where it is different from last time because I didn't have any, obviously. So, let's see, 175 black pearls, there we are. It tells you that these pearls are very powerful. If you throw a pair of them on the ground and say the magic word Derd nu Heno, an animated skeleton will appear to fight for you. The word will work for up to 10 pearls at a time to produce up to 5 skeletons, an undead army. Okay, so I've got how many pearls? I've got 5. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see, Derd nu Heno. Okay. Though you shouldn't need quite that many, he comments. If the skeletons are not destroyed in battle, the word Derd en Par, uttered by the spellcaster, will make them vanish again, leaving the pearls unharmed. Okay. So to summon, so Derd en Par, that is unsummon. Okay, summon, unsummon, and unsummon. Okay. Remember this, says Greylock, and there are more pearls to be found, but most of them are guarded by monsters, such as the sea dragon. Now, what about silver pearls, he asks. Have you any of those? I do have one, yep, 241. You display the silver pearl that you found. Good, he says. Let's see, hang on. So, yeah. The magic of the pearl cannot be used by you, but it will be very valuable to me. I will give you a choice of 3 potions in exchange. Never fear, you can drink them underwater. You accept gladly. Which potion do you choose? Healing potion, potion of fortune, or potion of vaporous essence? Healing potion, yeah. 199. Greylock makes a trade, bringing out a small flask of amber-colored liquid. You may take this healing potion with you and use it at any time except during battle. It will instantly restore your stamina to its initial values. Now we've got a healing potion. There we are, healing potion. So let's see. So potion. Okay. And here on the black pearls, it says it's clue, I suppose, like so. 154. Okay. Well then, says the old wizard, that is about all I can do for you. And you have to hurry, you know. You consider Greylock's advice. If you think you want to find the sea dragon, turn to 114. If you would rather not meet the sea dragon, turn to 261. I think would I rather not meet the sea dragon? I don't think I want to meet the sea dragon, do I? I mean, it can't help me, I suppose. Do I need help with the sea dragon? I mean, it's probably useful. I've got the help now of... I've sort of employed the help of the water elemental. I missed out getting help from the dolphins, I presume, by not having that crown. How many allies do I need in this battle? I've got 2 skeletons that I can fight for me. I've got the water elemental that can help me. Should I get another ally in the sea dragon? I can afford it. I mean, I do have the gold for it. I think I'll go and find the sea dragon. So I'll go to 114. You tell Greylock that you want to find the sea dragon. Very well, he replies. Good fortune to you. He escorts you back to the front door of his cottage. When it opens, you see not the gardens, but a weed-lined tunnel. A glistening film holds back the water that fills the tunnel. You lower yourself through, feeling a tingling sensation as you cross the magical barrier. The door closes behind you. Turn to 385. The tunnel enters a large cavern. The walls have been cut and faceted to bring out the beauty of the rock. Little niches contain glittering crystals, attractive plants, or anemones, and other undersea curiosities. You swim along, excuse me, admiring the exhibits. Then you see a merman swimming towards you, barbed trident at the ready. If you draw your sword and attack him, turn to 69. If you talk to him, turn to 190. I'll be talking again. The merman challenges you to explain your intrusion. You respond politely, saying that you are looking for a way out. He becomes affable and says, just so long as you aren't one of the deep ones. More like in Cthulhu. Deep ones, that's one of those, one of the creatures or one of the kinds of beings in H.P. Lovecraft's part of H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos, actually, so the deep ones. He escorts you through the cavern, which proves to be spacious and full of mermen and mermaids. You must let us show you some hospitality, he says. Our sauna baths will make a new person of you, and that is actually meant literally. If you go to the saunas, you have to reroll your stats. Or you could try your luck in our games room. I'm not going to do the sauna bath. I've got good stats, thank you very much. But I'm going to visit the games room. Go to 164. Right. So, games room. I am actually on a second page now of my map, finally. Games room, yeah. The Merman's Games Room is a sumptuous cabin full of mermen and mermaids disporting themselves and gambling for gold, jewels, and trinkets. If you have any gold pieces or black pearls, you may gamble them. You may not take the potion of fortune into this room, as your hosts would think it unfair, but you may use the lucky charm without being noticed. You do not have to gamble at all. If you choose to gamble, decide what you will wager, either 1 pearl or 1 gold piece, and test your luck. If you're lucky, you double your stake. If you're unlucky, you lose your stake. You may gamble as many times as you like, as long as you have something to gamble with. My luck is 11 at the moment, which means I'm very likely to actually win my first gamble. I'm going to gamble 1 black pearl and roll for luck. I roll 7, so now I've got 2 black pearls back, so that means I now got 6 black pearls. Just to get an even number, so I get an even number of skeletons. That's what I was thinking. I think I'll leave it at that, to be honest. So when you're ready to leave, go to 138. Okay, so 138. The mermen enjoyed your visit, and they crowd around you to wish you good luck. Knowing of your quest, they offer advice. You feel very brave and lucky, they tell you. You should, if you feel very brave and lucky. You should visit the sea dragon, but he is dangerous. If you need information to help you find your path, you should visit the sunken cathedral. And if you need good fortune, you should seek out the water sprite. But beware of hungry crabs. They will point out the path towards any of these 3. Sea dragon? Yeah, I'll try the sea dragon again. So, the cave opening in the cliff is easily twice your height and broad in proportion. On the rocks around the opening you can see huge scratches like the marks of enormous claws. You feel dwarfed as you swim slowly inside. The interior of the cavern is dimly lit, but brightens as you continue. Rounding a bend, you confront a huge sea dragon, curled up on a gleaming pile of treasure. It fixes you with an eye as big as a cannonball. What will you do? Tell it the story of your adventure. Yes, I will do that. Paragraph 7. You doubt that you could flee from the creature, and you are certainly not anxious to fight it. Your only hope is to talk to it. What will you appeal to in your speech? Its goodwill, its greed, or its hatred of pirates? Its greed. 178. I am on the track of a pirate ship, you say. If you can't help me destroy it, you can have all the treasure for yourself. All I want to do is finish off the pirates. Its eyes gleam and it runs a possessive claw through its golden hoard. Agreed, it rumbles. But I cannot follow you around like a nursemaid, human. If you find your pirate ship, just clink 2 gold coins together 3 times. I don't know why he speaks like that. And then 3 times again, and I will hear it and come. If you have 2 gold pieces to clink together, turn to 107. I do. 107. You thank the dragon very respectfully. Seeing a light towards the back of the cavern, you swim in that direction out of a narrow tunnel and up towards the light. Turn to 202. You emerge from underground in the middle of a green meadow of soft seaweed. The water tastes clean and fresh here, like mountain air. In the distance, you can see the grey spires of the sunken cathedral you were told about. Closer by, you see a magnificent seahorse grazing on the meadow. What would you do? Oh. Right, last time. I didn't really get much done here. And shall I try to... I need to use luck if I want to... oh, I forgot to reduce my luck, by the way. It's now 10. Got 2 provisions left. Not much. Got a potion of healing. I don't know if the seahorse can help me in any way, but maybe it can. So I'm going to pick some seaweed and approach the seahorse. Go to 166. There we are. You pick some greens and approach the seahorse, talking to it gently. It looks nervous, but eventually settles down and eats from your hand. What will you do next? Go on your way, attack it, or try to jump on it and ride. I'm going to try to ride it. You jump on its back, throw your arms around its neck, and try to hang on. The seahorse bolts. Test your luck. 9. Yeah, I am lucky. If you're lucky, you stay on. Turn to 9. That has not happened before. The seahorse swims madly in circles, bucking and tossing, but you keep your seat. Eventually it quietens, but still rolls its eyes. Well, that's how seahorse eyes work, and they work individually, just like on a chameleon. You pat its nose reassuringly. You find that you can guide it with your knees and that it swims much faster than you do. You direct it towards the cathedral in the distance. When you reach your goal, you dismount and the seahorse swims away. Restore 2 luck points. Okay. So you spend 1 luck and you get 1 luck. That's quite nice too, isn't it? Plus 2 luck. And then I get 2, I suppose. Oh, actually that means because there's a bit between the cathedral and the seahorse that there's some potential danger as well that you now avoid. So there we are, 269. You approach the sunken cathedral and circle it. It is a huge Gothic structure, complete with gargoyles on the roof. And of course, as I pointed out last time, look at this picture. That is not Gothic architecture at all. It's classical, with a mixture of these towers. They're like minarets. So actually, it's a mixture of classical and sort of Moorish Arab. Yeah, no, it's not Gothic at all. You swim through the front doors. Obviously, the artist here didn't really read it properly, did he? Oh, anyway. Your attention is immediately caught by the vast stained glass windows lining the hall. They depict many sorts of scenes, some underwater, some on land, and some so odd that you cannot identify them. The curious thing about the windows is this. Although the scenes do not move, they change. Whenever you look away from a window, it is different when you look back. As you look back and forth, you see a picture of yourself in one window, as you were being forced overboard from the pirate ship. A moment later, in another window, you see the same pirate ship from above being eaten by a giant fish. No. As you look closer, you see the fish is an island, and the ship is anchored in a cove that forms the fish's mouth. What would you do now? So the options are keep watching the miraculous windows, look around the cathedral, or leave the cathedral. I suppose this is a good save game point as well, just in case, because I've been playing so long now and I've got so far. I want to get to the end of this and see if this is actually doable with what I've got, because otherwise this is quite a long way to go back and start over. So it makes sense for this to be a save game from here on in kind of game now, unless there's something crucial that I missed, and I don't think so. So it doesn't feel like it. I'm going to keep watching the windows a little bit, even though that might distract me from something else that comes and kills me. There we are. It's 7. As you watch, a school of beautiful angelfish swims into the hall. As if in response, the next window you look at depicts more angelfish. You laugh at the thought of an angelfish in the cathedral and wonder where the devilfish is. Sure enough, the next window shows a huge devilfish. So realistic it appears to be swimming towards you. In fact, it is. What would you do? Attack it, ignore it, or flee? Flee sounds like a good idea. 117. Thank you. Okay. You dodge away from the attacking devilfish. Test your luck. Nope. Oh, yes. Yeah, I got my luck back, didn't I? So I am actually lucky, and so let's see. So we've got oh, I forgot to put in the mapping for the previous paragraph there. I'll just do that first now. So we got 3 options actually on that paragraph. I'll just put them like so actually. 1, 2, 3. And we've got 2, 9, 4 attack. 80, ignore, which sounds like a terrible idea, and 117, which is flee. I try to flee, and then it is test luck, and then it's either you have to fight it if you are unlucky, or 78 if you are lucky. So let's see, 78 lucky. You dodge towards one of the windows and fall, but into the picture, not through the window. Turn to 244. Okay, that is weird. 244. You find yourself facing a man-sized fish, or perhaps it is a very fishy-looking man in a tall plumed hat. He stamps a booted foot, salutes you with his rapier, and moves towards you. What would you do? Attack him? Ask him what's going on here. Sit down and hope this illusion will vanish. I'm going to talk to him, I guess. So we got 79 attack, 335 talk, or 299 sit. I'm going to try to talk to him, see what's going on here. The strange swordsman introduced himself as Cyrano, the swordfish. I am the greatest swordsmaster of all the oceans. He says grandiloquently. That's a new word for me as well, grandiloquently. You must have been sent here for lessons. My fee is 1 black pearl or 2 gold pieces. I do have 4 gold pieces, which means I still have 2 left for the sea dragon to clink together. So right, so lessons, does it mean it can teach me to fight better? That would be nice, I suppose. So 267 or 137, so that is not or GP or BP. So 2 GP or 1 BP. Okay, 267. I have the price. 267. If you want to take a lesson, turn to 22. If you decline and saying there must have been some mistake, turn to 317. I am going to have a lesson. So 22 lesson or 317 mistake. So 22. You pay Cyrano 1 black pearl or 2 gold pieces. He offers you a drink from his flask and you accept. You instantly feel stronger. You regain 2 stamina points, or enough to raise your stamina to 10. Okay, so my stamina is now up to 21. Yep. Let's see, so +2 stamina and 11, 10 special rules. If you have no sword, he tosses you one. Cyrano salutes you and drops into an en garde position. Defend yourself, he says. We shall test your skill. You fight. Okay, the fight is over when one of you has sustained 3 wounds. Okay, so we've got, I am now 12, 21. He is 11, 10. Quite a good fighter then. So I've only got 1 skill point advantage. He rolls a 7. I roll a 6. That's a draw. He rolls an 8. I roll a 5. Okay, so that's 1 hit. He rolls a 10. I roll a 6. 2 hits. He rolls a 6. I roll a 6. 1 hit on him. He rolls a 10. I rolled a 7, so he hit me 3 times. So that means he wins that battle. Then we have 2 options here. So if So let's see. 176 or 46. U times 3 or C times 3. Okay, so he hits me 3 times. I go to 46. The fight ends. You may eat provisions if you need to regain strength. Okay, I'm going to eat 1 provision. So I got 1 left. Takes me up to 21 again. Cyrano congratulates you on your performance. Of course, you did not win. Don't feel bad. You could not be expected to win against the great Cyrano, but you did well. Your skill score goes up by 2 points, and your initial skill score is also raised by 2, so it's now 14. So plus 2 skill. I would have thought if you won that battle, your skill wouldn't go up as much. Yeah, it doesn't actually. If you lose, you're actually doing better than in this one, which makes sense because if you win, of course, he doesn't have much to teach you, does he? So you want to lose. Okay. Cyrano stamps his foot again, and you find yourself back in the open ocean in the middle of a patch of broken timbers. I wonder if they're shivering. Shivering the timbers. Okay. 111. Now, have I been to 111 before? Not to my knowledge. No. Okay, so I'll put 111 up there. 111. That's pretty good, actually. You look around you. You are in the midst of some great wreckage, whether of a ship or building. You cannot tell. You are surrounded by logs, stones, and scraps of wood and metal. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a flash of movement. Then you feel a tug at your belt. You realize that there are little octopuses all around you, watching you with their great eyes and investigating you with their tentacles. What would you do? Just a little side note there. The only correct plural of octopus in English is octopuses. If you hear somebody say octopi, slap them with something, because that is what is known as a hypercorrection, which means you are taking the pattern of an irregular Latinized plural, which also isn't really technically something that should be correct in English, but it's sort of been introduced by Latinists. So like saying cacti instead of cactuses, for instance, where cactuses is the natural and really the only originally correct plural in English. Some people thought that Latin was a much better language than English and therefore superior, and English should emulate it. This has caused a lot of trouble. And they decided that words ending in US of Latin origin should have an I plural. So that is radii instead of radiuses. There is cacti instead of cactuses, and things like that. But octopus, even though it came via Latin, it is not of the declension that gets an I plural. So it's from Greek, of course. Octopus means 8 foot in Greek, and the only correct, if you want to do a sort of an original plural from Greek or from Latinized Greek, is octopodes is correct. Octopi is wrong. Octopuses is the best one. Okay. There are little octopuses all around you, watching you with their great eyes and investigating you with their tentacles. What will you do? Flee, attack them, offer them some food. I've only got 1 provision left. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to offer them some food. Okay, so I'm going to... $142, $290, or $34. That is flee, attack, food. I'm going to offer them some food. 34. If you possess a crab's claw, turn to 205. If not, turn to 186. I do not have a crab's claw. 205 claw, question mark, or 186 not. You toss one provision on the ground. Most of the octopuses go for the food, but a few are more interested in you and your bag. If you pull them gently off with your hands, turn to 301. So that means I've got 0 provisions now. Minus 1 prov. If you attack with your sword, turn to 290. So I've got the option again of attacking, but I will gently remove them with my hands. 301. You free yourself and swim away. As you leave, you realize that the octopuses have stolen one possession, your choice, from your bag. Right, what have we got? Colorless jewel or shark tooth, I suppose. I'm going to go with the colorless jewel. Remove that from my bag. And I'm going to have to move to the next page, I think. Let's see. So I'm going to move to this one. I'll put a 301 here. Then minus 1 item. And then I'm going to put the new options up here. So we've got 87 corals, or 382 other direction. And I do not have another direction anywhere, do I? 382, no. Yes, we do have a 382. Okay, so right. Okay. Saving my game again. I'm so close to the end, I don't want to sort of lose by going into an insta-death now, so, or anything like that. Oh, hang on. 87 is also on my map. Yeah, okay, so a little do-over there, because that means that I actually know what's happening next. In fact, actually, I will go to Is it in my interest to attack the Kraken? Because that is the Kraken. That's where the Kraken lives now. Okay, I'm going to save my game now in case going for the Kraken is going to actually make things worse. So I have the option of doing the other thing afterwards. I'm going to try the Kraken again, because now I actually have a few of these items that might be able to help me against the Kraken. So I'm going to try and go to the Kraken, so 87. You swim towards the huge formation of coral. It seems to take the form of a wall surrounding 3 sides of a huge rock bowl. Enter through the open side and swim towards the inside of the wall. Then, looking down, you see enormous eyes looking back up at you. 10 huge tentacles unfold and reach out. The creature below you is the legendary Kraken, a monster big enough to sink a ship. Its great beak opens and closes. What will you do? Swim down and fight. Try to hide in a niche. Turn around and make for open water. So I'm going to start by trying to hide. I see actually this is the same option as the one up there. I'm just going to do like so now. I'm going to try to hide, so I get the option of trying to use an item. So you dart into a large hole in the coral, just ahead of a reaching tentacle. Exploring your refuge, you find that it does not lead all the way through the coral wall. You may eat provisions now or drink a potion. You are safe for the moment. Or are you? The Kraken's huge arms are tearing the coral away from the entrance and probing after you. What will you do now? Use the ice crystal if you have it. That is the one for the water elemental. Use a potion of vaporous essence, which was the option. I could get that instead of getting a healing potion. Use a tool fish. I don't have a tool. Attack with your sword or none of the above. So I'm going to have to try now and see what happens if I use the ice crystal, which is of course the obvious one of the ones that are there. So I'm going to go to 193. Holding the ice crystal in your hand, you summon the elemental. The crystal vanishes. Within moments, the elemental appears in the form of a current of water. You need not speak. It understands your peril. It enfolds you and shoots out of the coral hole between the Kraken's arms and away. Turn to 303. 303. Just as promised, the water elemental will carry you anywhere you ask. If you wish to be taken to the pirate ship, turn to 167. If you do not feel you can defeat the pirates, you can ask to be taken to your home port. Turn to 105. Oh, there isn't a way out then. That is interesting. Okay, so... But it seems that the whole aim of this one is to actually try to defeat the pirates. So, pirates... home port. I'm just going to have a look at going to the home port now, just to see how that panned out. I presume that is the last, just to sort of the flavor of it. So it says, you swim to the surface and take a deep breath of air. Hang on, 105. Is that the same as in the beginning? No, it's not. That was 63. Okay. Feeding your magic gills vanish as you do so. Behind you, the elemental forms a wave. Riding the crest of spray, you travel faster than you had ever dreamed possible. Before long, you see the lights of Port Blacksand twinkling in the dusk. You thank the elemental as it deposits you on the shore. You failed in your quest to defeat the pirates, but at least you're alive. Maybe someday you can again try to find them. And this actually makes more sense to me. Why would you want to defeat the pirates? Why is that your quest? It doesn't make any sense. What you really should have done is try to get home, I think. So that's just for flavor. Now, pirates, 167. That is going to be the getting towards the end of it now. The elemental does not know where the pirates are located. Where will you ask it to carry you to find them? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 options. I'll just put in here, this is actually the end, even though it's not a bad end to be taken to your back to Blacksand. So 207 fish, 262 pirate, 308 blood axe, 279 skull. Now with those options, of course you're going to pick fish, because pirate, blood axe and skull all sound like pirate islands, which means that the odd one out is Fish Island. And of course I've seen that there are an island that is shaped like a fish, so it has to be Fish Island. Let's see. Right, so 207. The elemental wraps itself around you and hurtles through the water. Soon you are at Fish Island. The elemental circles the island until you spot the troll, lying at anchor in a small cove. Goodbye, friend, says the elemental. Good luck in your battle. It vanishes. You are left floating in the water, just below the hull of the troll. Right, so it's getting to the end, so that is clearly the correct choice there. I haven't really made many markings on a map now for what are the correct choices. because sometimes there may be alternative paths that work equally well in this one, which is why it's maybe an optimum one, but we'll see. Saving my game as usual. Hidden beneath the hull of the pirate ship, you plan your final attack. You know that your fate hinges on the decisions you are about to make. What will you do to defeat the pirates? Attack them boldly with your sword, use the black pearls, use a magic toolfish, or summon the sea dragon. So it sort of makes sense to start with the sea dragon, doesn't it? I mean, your dragon is going to be your first line of attack, and then you have your skeletons, and then yourself if you need to fight them even more. 3, 5, 8, 1, 8, 8, 2, 4, 3. So that's dragon. Toolfish, tool, pearl. I suppose if you had a drill toolfish now, you could drill a hole in the hull and it would sink. It could be that simple, couldn't it? Pearls, or just attack. So I'm going to try starting with the dragon, so 243. Do you possess 2 gold coins? If you do, turn to 157. If not, you cannot summon the sea dragon. Go back to 47. So 1, 5, 7. 2 gold pieces. 2 pieces. Yes. Yes. I do have 2 gold pieces. 157. Okay. How will you clink the coins together to call the sea dragon? This is where I am supposed to know this, of course. Does it feel like cheating if I look it up now? Because the thing is, when you're playing a game, it's a bit different to actually, if you've actually been there and done it on your own, isn't it? So it sort of makes sense if you remember these things. So I'm going to actually cheat a little bit now. Three times. Okay. Right, so options. 1, 2, 3. So I'm not going to do this whole thing again because I got that wrong. So I think cheating is appropriate in this case. 292 and 315. So actually, note for self, of course, every time there is any information that can be a clue that you need to remember, make a note of it. I try to do that, and I usually do that, but not always in this case. So that's 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2, or 3 plus 3, 315. 3 times and 3 times. You clink the gold coins together as you were told to do and swim to the sea bottom to watch. Within a few minutes you see the huge bulk of the sea dragon. It swims straight to the troll. With a few swipes of its mighty claws it tears out the ship's bottom. The troll sinks like a stone, and the greedy dragon wreaks havoc among the swimming pirates. As you watch, the dragon opens the ship's hold and gathers all the gold into a pile. Then you hear its deep voice calling you. Human, the ship is destroyed. Come out and receive my thanks. If you go to the dragon, turn to 36. If you stay in hiding, turn to 140. Okay, I'm thinking maybe it's going to... Why should I go and receive his thanks? That sounds like a terrible idea. Go 36. Go, or 140. Hide. I'm feeling like hiding now, actually. I'm just going to have a little quick peek at what happens if you don't. Yeah, it wants to kill me, of course, but I'm hiding, so 140 is where I go. You remain hidden. The dragon calls again, but eventually gives up. gathers this treasure and leaves. You swim to the sunken troll to look it over. It is almost nightfall. If you untie one of the ship's boats and float up with it to make your way home, turn to 238. If you head for the treasure hold, turn to 369. Well, I suppose there shouldn't be much treasure left, but I have seen signs of other wrecks that look like the sea dragon has been there, and he always leaves a little bit, doesn't he? 369 or 238, home or hold. Again, saving my game, I'm going to check out the hold. Yeah, a good thing I saved my game because that is an insta-death actually. As you explore the wreck, the sun sets. Your magic gills shrink and vanish. Your next breath of water turns cold in your lungs. You gasp and choke. The surface is far above you, too far. Your adventure is over. And that is actually the very definition, isn't it, of losing at the last hurdle. That would be absolutely terrible to do. So, good thing I saved my game because it makes more sense as well, actually. Oh. You swim down to the deck of the troll and slash the bindings holding the largest ship's boat. It bobs to the surface. You follow it up and get in. As you do so, the sun sets and your gills vanish. You cannot return to the troll and search further. You have won no treasure, but you destroyed the pirates. Your adventure is over. It doesn't really feel like a victory, does it? Is that the best ending? Is this just multiple endings? Bit curious now. So it is sort of the end, but is it the best end? Is there a better end? 400 is actually not the victory paragraph in this. So basically, I suppose, in a way, that 105 paragraph could equally have been sort of your victory, in a way, as this one. Which is completely different to most fighting fantasy books. I suppose I can say that I've sort of won it now in a way, even though I've had to cheat a tiny little bit. I just didn't want to play all this over again and do the same things again. It feels a little bit more sort of open in a sense. And of course, it feels like there are several paths to victory in this one. And I didn't need the black pearls, after all, now, because I used the sea dragon. Let's just have a little look and see what happens if you do use the pearls. 358. See, okay. So use the pearls, equal to 100. And we've got 3. 651. Just quickly checking over now just to see. So you get to fight Captain Bloodaxe and go to 189, which is quite a hard fight, it looks like. And that's also sort of a victory paragraph in the way you end at. So that's a different one. So I suppose, I don't know, it feels a little bit less satisfying when there's not a single victory paragraph that is the victory, the one you want to go for. But it's an interesting, different structure to this book that I quite like. Now, it's a bit strange how in the beginning you can actually skip all of this bit over here that I explored. So let's do it up here now. So all of this bit up here that I explored today, and if you go this way, you just skip that bit. So it's quite an unusual structure in this one, which is interesting, but it almost feels more like a sort of a, what do you call it now? Multiple ending kind of adventure novel instead of a game that has one single victory condition that sort of is the right one. I'm not sure I'm happy about that, actually. I think I'd rather prefer the ones where you go to paragraph 400 and it feels really satisfying because you know you have achieved the best possible ending. And now you're sort of left with a little bit of a question mark, sort of wondering Is that the best? Could I have done it differently? Could I have gone somewhere else? It's a little bit sort of yeah, but I certainly enjoyed this book. I must say, I was not expecting to finish it today, but this has been a really long playthrough now, so it's just a completely different structure to this one, and I suppose that's all right as well. But now I'm really looking forward to the next one, which is Sword of the Samurai. Yes, in the land of Hachiman. The land of Hachiman is in grave danger. Shogun's control is slipping. Yes, it's. I used to see this one in the bookshops and the secondhand bookshops, and I was sort of wondering if it was anything for me. But I sort of decided wasn't sure about the setting at the time. It just didn't feel that kind of normal high fantasy thing that was appealing to me. I may have bought it, but I certainly never played it. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how this one actually works. Right, so I think that's it for today. I was wondering, actually, I was thinking earlier today that maybe every time I finish a book, I should do a Fighting Fantasy Roulette episode, because I really enjoyed that when I did my episode 100 special, that maybe I should make that a thing. I haven't decided yet. I may do, it is possible, maybe my next episode is going to be a Fighting Fantasy Roulette. You'll notice when this episode is out. So I think I've concluded. I've satisfied that I've done Demons of the Deep as well as I could. I think on my playthrough now, I've sort of got to most of the locations. I didn't get all of them, but it seems that this path that I took, it sort of covers almost all the locations, and where there were multiple choices of 3 different locations, you sort of got to one after the other if you made the right choice first, which it seems that I did. So I'm quite happy having played this one now, and looking forward to moving on, really. So if you've watched this the whole way through, amazing patience you have, I must say. Thanks for watching, and please like, share, comment, subscribe, join me on Patreon, all those things, and I will see you in my next episode of Fighting Fantasy or something else if you also watch other videos on my channel, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you then. So thank you again, and goodbye for now. Bye bye. I have no idea how long this episode is going to be, actually. I've not looked at the timings. It's going to be long. It might be the longest one I've got. And now I'm just making it longer by talking about that. So, goodbye. Bye-bye.